Hi yogis, Cole Chance here, and I want to let you know a few things and then we're going to get into an intermediate flow that you all have been asking for. And I think it's amazing that so many people have been asking to grow with us, that have started with us doing beginner videos, and they're really getting the hang of that and wanting to go a little bit deeper. So we're going to start doing and releasing some more advanced, more intermediate things so you can grow along with us. And I also wanted to let you know that me and Jen will be doing a live retreat. So it'll be YOGATX. It'll be our first big live event in Bali in April 2017. So check out on our social media and our websites about that and come and go deeper with us in person. But let's start right here on our mat. So let's go ahead and let's get into child's pose to start. So take your knees wide, sit your hips back, and grow your torso long. If you have any low back problems, you can bring the knees together here. And just start breathing. Feeling your body, your torso, expand in 360 degrees. So not only is your chest and belly dropping towards the ground, or maybe you can feel your belly expand between your thighs, also your back body is rising. And I want to touch on the fact that more advanced yoga and more intermediate yoga doesn't necessarily just mean postures, but it means that you're also breathing, that you're really concentrating on your breath with the movement. And that's really is what deepens the practice a lot, is really marrying those two together. So really be aware of that and try to step that up. So let's walk the hands over to the right side, keeping the left hip on the ground, and reach those fingertips out as far as you can, and at the same time pull back at the shoulders to protect that joint and to keep that joint together. So we're reaching out as we're pulling in. So reaching out with stability. And let's walk the hands over to the left side. So same thing here. Pulling in at the shoulder, reaching out with the fingers. Notice if your right hip wants to come up. You can also kind of push the ground away with your hands to help sink the right hip down, if that is the case. Another inhale here. Breathe into the side body. And release. Let's go back to center. On an inhale, move your body up and we'll come all the way in to cow pose. So chest comes through. Inhale, gaze up. Exhale, push the ground away, round the back, and come all the way back down in to child's pose. Another time, come up, roll the chest through, inhale. Exhale, push the ground away. Child's pose. Inhale, come up, moving with breath, roll the shoulders through. This time, tuck your toes. And we'll exhale, push the ground away, lift the hips up into downward dog. Inhale, come forward, drop the knees, chest forward, gaze up. Untuck the toes. Exhale, child's pose. Let's go through this again. So moving with the breath, creating a vinyasa. Inhale, tucking the toes, gazing up. Exhale, pushing the ground away, lifting the hips, engaging the core. Downward dog. Start to pedal out your downward dog. So fingers are wide. The brunt of the weight is in the L shape of your hand. You're pushing the ground away. Again, plugging the shoulder blades onto the back. The ribs knit together, the belly is in, and the sit bone's up towards the sky. So the knees can be bent here. We want to be really long from the fingertips to the hips, and the heels will eventually come to the ground, but that's not on the top of our worries right now. So don't, at least keep a micro bend. On an inhale, come to the toes. On an exhale, drop the knees about 3 inches off the ground and push the ground away. So I can be here, or if I push, I'm kind of in this crouching position, so my belly's towards my thighs. On an inhale, I'm going to kick into my feet and come into plank pose. Shoulders over hips. Shoulders over hips, no, shoulders over wrist. And then push back, exhale. So now we'll move with this. Inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, bring the knees down, crouch, push the ground away, gaze towards your hands. Inhale, kick into your feet, plank pose. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, toes. Exhale, crouch. Inhale, plank pose. Down dog. Bring the knees down. This time bring the knees together. Bring the hands around the back. Clasp the hands. Bring the forehead as close as you can to your knees. Roll the shoulder blades onto your back, like as if you could bring the elbows together, and start to lift your hips. This is called rabbit pose. This will look a lot of different ways. Maybe you're up a little bit. Maybe your head's on a block. And then release. Release the arms. And just take a few moments in rock pose. This is a really good grounding position, just everything being together, in together, everything towards center. Feeling the rib cage push into your thighs and push up towards the ceiling on an inhale and release. Start to walk your hands back up. Tuck the toes. Downward dog. Gaze towards your hands. You can step, or you can jump towards the top of your mat. So if you're going to jump, think about that crouching position that we were in. So we'll crouch, and then jump towards the top of your mat. We'll inhale, halfway lift, grow long. It's like I have Cobra in my chest and in my back, belly in, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise, gaze up, hands up, and exhale, hands to heart center. So let's take a couple sun salutations here. Inhale, rise, and exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, step back, plank pose. Shoulders over wrists, not shoulders over hips. We're going to push the toes forward. Push into the toes so it shifts you forward. Keeping the elbows in, come all the way down onto the ground. Untuck the toes. Inhale, Cobra. This is low Cobra. Exhale, push the ground away and into down dog. Inhale here and release. Inhale. Release. Inhale. Release. Gaze towards the hands. You can walk towards the hands, or again, you can bend your knees and jump to the top of the mat. And we'll meet in halfway lift. And exhale, fold. So this turns into a moving meditation. Inhale, lift. And exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway. Plant the hands, plank pose. Shift forward on the toes. Come all the way down. Tuck the toes, this time high cobra. So this time we have weight in our hands, shoulder blades on the back, the pubic bone and the toes are rolling in, and I'm engaging the core to protect my low back. And exhale, down. Tuck the toes, push back, downward dog. 3 rounds of breath. Inhale 2. Inhale 3. Gaze towards the hands. Step or crouch and jump to the top of your mat. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. And hands to heart center. You should start to feel everything moving here. And I'll show you another variation here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Halfway. Plant the hands. Step back plank pose. So you can take the variation that we've done before. You can shift forward, and here you can drop the knees, or you can leave them up. I'll show it dropped. Keep the elbows in and come down halfway. If you want to stay up, shift forward, keep the elbows in, come down halfway. Whichever one you're in, you'll flip your toes and come into up dog. The arms are straight here, the thighs are lifted, shoulders forward, belly engaged to protect the low back. For down dog, I press the ground away, lift the hips, flip the toes, and I'm back in down dog. So there's many different versions. It's not linear, like one's beginner to advanced. I go back and forth and switch all the time. So just listen to your energy level, the way your body feels. One more round of breath. In and out. This time let's lift the right leg, bend the knee, and just make some circles. Just make that hip feel good. So maybe you kind of kick the leg over a little bit, the foot. Just make some organic movement here. And then inhale, lift it up, flex that foot, and even out the sacrum. So I'm not going to be open, the sacrum's flat. And I'm going to inhale, bring the knee to the chest, and my shoulders over my wrists. So I'm kind of doming my back. Inhale, I'll lengthen, so tripod down dog. Exhale, I'll bring everything in. And this time I'll bring the foot through. Drop the back knee. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, hands to heart center. Scissor the thighs together, so bring that right hip back. And we're going to come up. Inhale. And exhale, sink. One more time, inhale. Exhale, sink. Inhale. On an exhale, drop the back heel, open up into Warrior Two. So the knee is tracking over the front toes. I'm bending deeply, but I'm not coming forward. I want a lot of space between my rib cage and my thigh. Shoulders are right over my hips. I'm really reaching out from the elbow down. From the elbow up, everything's coming in. So again, we can't reach out unless we're coming from a strong core. Inhale, let's straighten that front leg. Reach forward. I'm going to pull that right hip back, and I'm going to reach forward as far as I can until I can't reach forward anymore, and then I'm going to drop this hand. If you have a block, this is a really good pose for a block. If not, you can grab a hold of the leg here. Try not to put too much weight. But I'm going to lift my left arm up. So the normalcy is beginning this pose, you're kind of leaning over here. What I'm wanting to do is open, so I'm wanting to move my hips forward, move my torso back, kind of rolling it open. A good thing to do is it is nice to put your hand on your heart and kind of help to roll it open. And then lift the hand. So triangle pose. On an inhale, let's come back up. Bend in the front foot. We'll take an inhale here. Exhale. Keep this knee bent. Reverse your torso and your arms. So this isn't a back bend, it's a lateral bend. Inhale here. Release. And then come all the way around to the ground. Let's plant the left hand, pulling back on the right hip, and open up. And release. Let's step in the back foot just a little bit here. So we're going to come into pyramid pose. The back foot is diagonal just a little bit. Blocks are really good here as well. Otherwise, you can bend the knee if you need. But let's inhale, grow long, like we're doing halfway lift, long out of the hips to the crown, and fold forward. Inhale, lengthen. Push into that front foot like it's a gas pedal. That'll keep the hip coming back and the sacrum flat. Down. One more time. Inhale. Step the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Inhale, rise. We'll move to the other side. Going through a vinyasa. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Take your version to the toes, maybe to the knees, maybe all the way down to the belly. Flip the toes, up dog or cobra. Exhale, push the ground away, engage the core to lift your hips, and we'll meet in down dog. This time, lift the left leg, bend the knee, open the hip, and start to make hip circles, or do whatever feels good. Maybe you straighten, maybe you reverse. Getting some pops here. And go ahead and straighten it out. So flex the foot, send like you could make a footprint on the back wall, flatten the sacrum. On an exhale, bring the knee to the chest, dome the back, and bring the shoulders over the wrist. Inhale, lengthen. Bring everything in, shoulders over wrist. Bring that leg through. Drop the back knee, scissor the thighs together. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Tuck the back foot, hands to heart, coming up. So really engaging the core here. If you need to bend in this back knee, that helps to keep the sacrum, or keep the hips centered. So let's inhale here and exhale, come down. Inhale, grow, exhale, sink. Grow. This time spin that back heel down and open up, warrior two. So again, finding your footing, pulling back on the left hip. The knee always wants to come in. You'll have to train it to go out and it will happen. Shoulder blades onto the back. Pulling in and also reaching out, opposing forces. Not coming forward, leaving space here, shoulders over hips and sinking low. Another inhale. And release. Let's straighten that front leg. We'll come into triangle pose. So pulling back on the left hip, reaching, reaching, reaching forward, and then dropping that hand. It goes to the floor, to a block, or lightly to the leg, never to the knee. I start to shift the hips forward. You can take the hand to the heart and open the chest. Arm up. Again, I'm reaching out, but I'm also plugged in. You can check this bottom shoulder here. It likes to come in. Mine is a little bit right here. I also want to roll that back. Inhale, like someone's pulling the top arm. I'm coming back up to warrior two. One breath here. Keeping the legs where they are, reverse the torso. Lightly, my hand is here on the back. Another inhale. And exhale, windmilling my arms down. Planting the right hand and opening to the left. Inhale. And release. Bending the back leg, I'm going to step in about a foot or two. My hips automatically kind of want to go to the left here, so I want to push into this left foot. I can also take my thumb to my hip and pull it back. You'll feel it light up. It'll be more intense in your leg. But you can bend the knee here. You can also come to blocks. We're growing long. And diving down. So the connection with the back foot here is really important, especially the back edge of the foot. You really want to push down into that foot and make that connection. It's keeping your hips aligned and even. Whew, it's intense. Good hurt, good hurt. If it's not good hurt, then back up a little bit. And then let's take the right foot to meet the left. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold forward. This time, let's widen the feet. The heels in, the toes are coming out. And start to sink your hips low. So this is Malasana. You could come onto a block here. And you might be with your hands here. Wherever you are, just breathe into the sensation. The more you can breathe up against something that's uncomfortable, the more it releases. Our tendency is to start to shallow our breath or to hold our breath when something's uncomfortable, physically or mentally or anything. But what that does is it sends our nervous system into fight or flight mode, and it tells our body that, we're not safe, like this is a problem. That creates stress, anxiety. So the more that you can train yourself to slow your breath down against any discomfort, that's telling your body instead, like, yo, I got this. Like you're safe, we're cool. And then it lets you get deeper into a stretch, or it also lets you calm down whenever you come up against things that are problematic. Any kind of life stressors and things like that. If you can breathe through a traffic jam, if you can breathe through this fight with your partner, or any of the million things that happen, just try that out. Let's go ahead and come down to the ground. And we'll come into boat pose, Navasana. So to start, let's bring the hands behind the knees, and I'll show you many different places to get off at. First thing we want to do is roll the shoulder blades onto the back. Open up through the collarbone, so really broad right here. I'm going to lean back a little bit, so I'm kind of creating a V. I'm going to lift one foot up and then another. So I kind of want to go like this, but I'm not going to. So you kind of have to find that balance point. Now from here you can lift one leg and lift another. So these are all different just stops. So maybe you start where we began and maybe you come to here, but just so you see. And let's breathe into 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See the shaking? This is good. And go ahead and bring everything in. You can bring your forehead to your knees. And we'll do this one more time. Okay. So find your boat. Think wide through the collarbone. Come to your expression for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And bring everything in. And you'd be amazed with how quickly that changes what you're able to do in that pose. It's a good one to watch. Watch your body change. Go ahead and drop that. Let's just come around to seated. Bringing your hands to your knees. Let's roll the shoulder blades onto the back. Collarbone wide. Arch the back. Lift the head. Exhale, bring everything in. Belly to spine, spine to the back wall. Chin to chest. See if you can feel the muscles on your spine light up on either side. And inhale, come forward. And exhale. Come to center. One more time. Really big. Inhale and exhale. And you can keep your eyes closed and we'll just come down onto the back. You can lay your legs long, or you can come into Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together and the legs wide. So come into whichever space that you like, and we'll just be here for a moment. But at least take a moment to integrate this practice. And notice where your mind went. Maybe you were trying some poses for the first time, or maybe you were holding them longer than you're used to holding them. And notice where your mind goes. If you have negative self-talk, or if you are telling yourself of one of the million terrible things that we tell ourselves. But yoga is one of the reasons it's so beautiful is it's such an analogy for what you do on the mat is also how you act off the mat. So if you're trying something new, it's normal that, you're learning, you don't know what to do. But Start to think about how the things that happen here, where your mind goes on the mat, that's probably how your life shows itself off the mat as well. So this is a great practice spot for many, many things. So be kind to yourself. Thank yourself for showing up and trying a little deeper practice today. And we'll keep going with these videos, showing new things. And know that it's good to get uncomfortable, that only through discomfort can we expand that comfort zone. Let's take 3 rounds of breath together. Open mouth, exhale. In. Now you can stay right here. You can move back into a seated posture. And bring your hands to your heart. And thank you for coming to practice for yourself. Thank you for coming to practice with me. We all love to be part of your practice here at YOGATX. We love to hear your questions, your comments, your feedback, how yoga is moving you. Please let us know, and let's grow this community and this tribe. Thank you all so much. The light and love within me bows to the light and love within you. Namaste. Thank you all so much. I'll see you next time.